Welcome to the Heat Beat Podcast, first of season 2, or season 9, I should say. Not season 2. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas. With me today, we have our statistician and professional photoshopper, Christian Hernandez.
What is up? Excited to be back. We have basketball. It was so fun being at the arena the other night.
We have basketball. I want to get to that in a second when I ask you what the experience was like in arena, because it's been a minute. On the bottom right-hand side of the screen, we have our 2K coach and Stream B co-founder, Franky G.
What's up, guys? Good to be back.
How we doing? How we rocking today?
I'm very excited to be here and talk some Kyle Lowry passing.
There's a lot that we're going to get to. And, of course, we'd be remiss on the top right corner of your screen. Tiffany Meeks. How's it hanging? What you got there?
What it look like? What it look like? Frankie, what it look like? What it look like? Let's
Cards
go.
in one.
Let's go. Cards in one today. Let's do it.
So is that do they play is there Wednesday night
It's a
football
wild
now?
card game.
It's a wild card game.
The
St.
NFL's
Louis
already in wild
versus the
cards?
Dodgers.
I thought they were the Arizona Cardinals.
Monday Night Football on a Wednesday. Yeah, gee.
I love giving tip shit. Can't believe you like baseball. What's going on here? We have so much to get to. So good luck to Tips Cards. I don't know. Are the Marlins in the playoffs, Frankie? I don't even know.
No, definitely not.
Okay, well. You know.
6th in the draft. Let's go.
Better luck next time, I guess. Man, guys, I don't even know where the fuck to get to. So on Hangover Time, which, by the way, there's no Hangover Time tomorrow night, just so everybody's clear. We're going to be a Hangover Time live on Friday. We're going to give, 10 p.m. game. I don't want to work people into the ground. Everybody gets a little day off. 10 p.m. preseason game. I don't know what Adam Silver was thinking. He's for sure never seeing heaven. That's one thing that I think we could all get clear. Darkwick Pinky says, where did y'all end up on the Twitch leaks? Listen, if you guys want to get us to the point that we could be in the top 100 on the Twitch leaks, I suggest you you donate, you subscribe, you do all that stuff. For those who don't know, and for the podcast listeners, there was a Twitch leak today where like the top 100 like streamers, like all their monthly earnings got outed, and they're all like incredibly really rich, and we're out here. We're that R. Kelly meme. I'm fight for my life, man. So, every sub is appreciated. We love y'all. Glenn Poppy says they're going to the game tomorrow. So in San Antonio, I think that is. So shout out to them. Guys, we talked a bunch about Kyle, and we'll get into that later. I want to start with Caleb Martin because we didn't talk enough about him on Hangover Time. And listen, if he's going to be like a legit rotation guy, that's like a sneaky great signing for a stinky twin on a 2-way deal.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Did you say stinky?
Sneaky.
Well, he's the stinky twin, and it was a sneaky good signing.
Oh, so you did say stinky one time?
I did say stinky one time.
Oh, I thought you said sneaky twice in a row.
No, we have two stinky twins. We're dual wielding stinky twins.
So I actually have a question about Caleb. What is his natural position? Even though there's this whole positionless thing we're doing, but like, can he see time at the 4?
No, 6'5".
He's too small.
6'5".
Okay.
6'5", too small. He's a 2. I think that they'll try to slot him at the 3 at times. So
I gotta say though, I'm surprised that he's 6'5".
He seems so much bigger.
Like I got to experience him the other night without having ever looked into him at all. And I was kind of projecting him more as kind of like what Trevor Ariza was giving you. But like obviously a little bit different in that, he's a little bit more raw, but he's got way more athleticism. But he's like he felt like he had a similar build out there. And I'm surprised that he's sacrificing like 3 inches because Ariza's a full 6'8", right?
Yeah. With 7 foot wingspan.
He looks bigger. He looks bigger. He plays bigger. I think he was a lucky steal, a lucky find, but he fits perfectly what this team wants to do in the situation of getting out, running, exploiting what the defense gives them, and he puts his head down and he goes to work. I mean, he fits perfectly. The jump shot is a little but you know what? For everything else that he gave, I'm surprised, and I'm actually like pleasantly surprised that they got him for what they got him for.
I mean, him on a two-way is just ridiculous. Now, to your point about playing him at the 4, I'd even think playing him at the 3 is biting off a little more than they can chew. So I think any more than that, you're playing with house money. So if he can give you some minutes at the wing, now you can even do like Jimmy at the 4 and then Caleb at the 3. And I know that you're really, really small at that point, but if you have like Bam, Kyle, rather than like maybe like another bigger guard, you can get away with some against some bench units or whatever. But I think that gets a little dicey. I think, Franky, it's going to be a long season. We are in a COVID season. Even if all the players are vaccinated, you can still get Delta. It's still a thing. Like, and they're not going to be able to play, right? Even if they're asymptomatic, and all good. Shout out to It Shivers in chat for the tier 1 sub. We love and appreciate that. I mean, this is a guy that's going to have to play. And honestly, the way that he plays the passing lane, Franky, I feel like he fits in really a lot better on defense than any of us thought.
No, and his help defense was good. He was helping at the rim, being aggressive, using that 6'10" wingspan. He's a lot more athletic than I thought he would be. Admittedly, I never paid attention to him in Charlotte. I knew he had a twin brother. I knew he almost got his ass beat they both almost got their asses beat by James Johnson. But that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge. But I was surprised. When a player jumps at you on screen, that's what you want to see, especially a guy who's the 5th option on offense. And he's not, and he was asked to guard like the point of attack. He was guarding Trae Young. He was switching on to all their wings. He was guarding a little bit of everybody. So if that's what they have as a two-way guy, you can't really ask for much more. You're not expecting this guy, he's going to have to play some games of 15, 20 minutes. That's just a reality of COVID and also being an old ass team. But, that's not a bad look for what they got and for the price.
So Bueno One in chat said that he said in the Discord. I'll put the comment up. Said in the Discord, but it makes too much sense to convert his contract to a standard after his prorated minimum doesn't take us over the tax to have him available for the playoffs in case of emergency. Now I think what their issue is more of a roster spot, right? I think that they have or do they have 14? They might have 14 and they might be able to do that.
I think they still have one space.
They still have one space, yeah, because they never use it. But they're not under. They could convert that and not be over the tax. I think that they're going to wait until after the buyout guys, because they think the main reason why they kept that roster spot open was if a buyout guy became available, they had a roster spot right there ready for him. And, very good point, Bueno, that you do want to have him in the playoffs. So that probably does get converted depending on the roster spot situation. Obviously, Udonis's contract makes that's really where you get kind of, tight in the margins, but 14th, 15th man, it's not going to make too much of a difference. Yeah, Vic Bueno confirms we're at 14. So I like him. Again, I think he's a guy that you look at in a playoff series, if he does get playoff minutes and you're just like, okay, if we can survive, 7 minutes of Caleb, right, to give our wings a breath, you take that. Kind of like Bryn Forbes a little bit for the Bucks last season, where like he was a litmus test of I know it hurts for Heat fans, but like in general, like if Bryn couldn't stay on the court, like that was a problem. I always refer Christian back to the DJ Augustine minutes for the Pacers. Do you remember when the Heat used to play Pacers in the playoffs, and when George Hill would take a break, DJ Augustine would come in and the Heat would feast like piranha?
It was glorious. It was like, and also like it felt especially good because the Pacers were kind of kicking their butts a little bit. And they really did need those points to get back into the game. So like it was necessary, and then it was just glorious watching. It was like a revolving door, and like I feel like he improved after that. I mean, I guess when you become such a spotlight, it kind of forces you to focus on those flaws. But that was a hell of a series.
Like Tiff, the bench for this team, their starters. I expect like Jimmy, Bam, Kyle, Duncan to be like plus a ton, right, per 100%. So right. I'm not worried at all, even in a playoff series. Like I think like we can count on their starters to either run teams out of the gym or win pretty comfortably. where it starts like how much are they going to bleed when these guys come in, when the Caleb Martins come in, when the Gabe Vincent comes in, when Dedmond and Markieff, and we're going to get into that combo in a second. Like, how can they survive? And I know it's just one preseason game, but how do you feel about the bench mob, with what we have so far?
I'm a little concerned. More concerned about what the defense will actually look like than the offense. I don't know. I'm worried about that 4 spot. That 4 spot has got me.
The backup.
Yeah. Because the thing about it is that I've never really paid attention to which one we got. Markieff. That's who we got? Yeah. So I never really paid attention, and then the other day I basically Googled him and looked at some clips, and I mean, I don't know. There's the sun ain't shining too bright over there, so I don't really know.
I don't like him with Dedmond. I don't like him with Dedmond. I think if you're gonna play him, you got to play him at the 5, and it makes you a little smaller. But I think he makes up with that with kind of toughness. But at that point, I'd just rather have Dedmond at the 5.
Right. Well, I'd rather have Dedmond at the 5.
I mean, Mr. Dedmond, that's our guy too. So,
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, I could see the argument if you're gonna play like a Martin, Morris, Dedmond front court. That's still a lot of guys that can play big defensively. So I don't necessarily think that they would get abused. I think if they played team defense and rotated the right ways, that I think they could absolutely weather that.
They'll survive on defense. I'm just concerned if they'll score no points. So that puts a lot on Tyler. Now you're making Tyler really operate in really tight spaces because, Morris is not a negative spacer like some dudes, but he certainly isn't a positive spacer.
Yeah, but that was more of like an all bench lineup. We were also missing Jimmy. That's not really something like Caleb's. Caleb's gonna get minutes when guys are out, but he's not gonna be playing when
Caleb's
everybody's
not the
available.
problem there. It's
no, but I'm saying like
4-5.
But like that, you're expecting like if Caleb's not a non-shooter and you're not, Dedmond's gonna be inside. You're just like Markieff is an average shooter. You're just expecting too much for him. He's your third best player in that lineup. Like that, you're expecting too much from Markieff, and Tyler's got it going. Like you that's not like we're not worried about that yet. We can't really set anything as like a final lineup or a final prediction right now. You're missing Jimmy. It's preseason. Like we have to see it in regular season before we can predict anything.
Well, I think it's more of a projection, not a prediction. I think like if we're gonna, because it is smart to kind of look at these guys without Jimmy, because I'm expecting Jimmy to rest this year. I'm not even going to pretend he's going to play X amount of games. I'm expecting him to be out. I'm expecting Kyle to be out. And at some points, I'm expecting Bam to be out, to be honest. So I think where the hesitancy to say how that it could be a great combination. I mean, we should look at it like, because honestly, I actually expected Markieff to play better on the offensive end. Mm-hmm. But I watched where he took his shots and how he took his shots. I'm questioning his shot process. Like when he's inside, you're big. You don't need to take that jumper. You can back your guy in and just get to the rim. Like there's too many fadeaway jump shots, especially when he's like 2 feet from the basket. You don't have to do that. You can just bang and turn around and put it in. So I think for me, I'm questioning his shot selection. So Friday, he's one of the guys that I want to kind of like pay attention to see if he noticed anything from, what was it, Monday's game?
Yeah.
Monday's game, going back, looking. Oh no.
Smithan Smolnik says in chat, we're talking about Caleb Martin playoff minutes.
Smithan, he's going to be in that playoff. He's going to be there.
I don't know, man. Maybe I hope not, but see.
If he's there, it's another first round out.
Yeah, Tiff,
I'm saying it.
If he's playing, I'm just saying like to give passes, but no, Smithan's right. What the fuck are we doing? Smithan's right here, man.
Yeah.
So kind of to your point, Tiff, about like Jimmy resting. Not that this is like a great indicator of anything, but with two of Jimmy's 3 highest usage percentage seasons have come in Miami. His age 31 season and his age 30 season. With the middle one being his age 27 season with the Bulls. You want that number to go down as a guy ages, not up, right? Because guys get hurt and stuff like that, and you don't want to run your star into the ground. I mean, you want Jimmy for 16 wins, right, at the end of the year. You don't need him to. I'll never forget that fucking T-Wolves game where Jimmy's out there. Chris, do you remember that? That Timberwolves game on the road, Jimmy
after the ankle.
Yeah, he's doing everything he can to get them to win that game. That was his first game in Minnesota after the big stink, and they fucking vomited all over themselves. And that was the first time Jimmy really got mad post game. I don't know if you remember that, Chris, but like that shit can't happen.
Yeah, no, definitely can't. I don't remember that game. I don't think I watched it.
He he can't. That was the game where he.
No, I think I remember seeing the update on my phone. I think I was like traveling somewhere or something. But we ended up losing that game by what, like 15 points or something like that.
I don't remember, but I just remember that they lost. Jimmy played well. Everybody else played like shit, and you absolutely can't hand it to the Timberwolves under any circumstance. So, kind of, you want the Jimmy usage to go down, like Tip said. You kind of want resting. Kind of want these guys to step up a little bit. I want to focus more on the Markieff and Dedmond combo, Franky, because they don't have a better option at the 4 unless you start playing really undersized guys, and then we kind of fall into the trap of last season where they're really trying to plug. Like Jay left, and they really haven't been able to figure a lot of that out. Even if Kelly was here, you can kind of go a little bigger and have Kelly as your backup 4. Not ideal, but better. I kind of feel like that becomes their priority, in the trade market and the buyout market. But do you have confidence in Markieff in that kind of backup 4 role? Or is there like another solution on the roster that you like?
Oh, absolutely not. He's a 10th man on the roster. Like
who? Markieff?
Markieff. He's the 10th man in the rotation.
He's their backup power forward at this point.
Yeah, but he's one of the 10. It's him and Gabe are the real liabilities in the rotation. And like if we had a playoff series, they're probably not playing. It's probably an 8-man rotation. You're going with Tyler, Dedmond, and I'm missing somebody.
Well, knock on wood,
Caleb Martin, baby.
You might go 7. Hell, because the roster is just not really deep right now. You've used all your resources to get Kyle and you got PJ in, and those are your main additions, but you've lost to you lost a little bit of your roster. Like you need to the whole season needs to be focused on getting 1 or 2 more guys, another rotation guy. I still think from what I saw from Gabe, I still would like to get another point guard. And from the power forward spot, absolutely. I don't want to rely on PJ more than 24 minutes a game in the regular season.
So Frankie, your likely starters, right, for playoffs are Jimmy, Bam, Lowry, PJ, Duncan. You got Victor Oladipo, Hero, and Dedmond, right, as your 3 guys off the bench. And then what you're suggesting is you got to fill that 4 spot by committee.
Yeah, for the regular season.
No, for the playoffs I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, if you don't add anybody, yeah, that's what it's going to have to be.
And to me, like that's where it gets dicey. And unless Dedmond took a corner 3 yesterday, right? And Dedmond has shown in the past that he could be a shooter. I mean, it was a flash, but if Dwayne can hit that, which I think he has the ability to, that changes a lot of what we're talking about, and they can survive a lot of those minutes. But I'm not a fan from what I saw, and it's just one preseason game. So
please only refer to him as Dedmond. Don't call him Dwayne.
Yeah, you're right. No, I don't know what I did there.
It felt wrong. It felt weird.
It felt weird.
Especially when you're saying relying on Dwayne to hit a 3. It felt really wrong there.
Did you see that Dwayne, Hassan, and Rudy Gobert had the saddest 3-point contest ever at Utah Jazz practice?
A lot of houses were built.
Dwayne won. I mean, Dwayne had to win. I mean, Dwayne probably eked that shit out.
If Dwayne doesn't win that, like,
I gotta be honest.
Retire again.
If you had asked me to bet, I would have probably bet Hassan because Hassan likes shooting 3s. I don't know if he's good at them, but
no, he's not.
He has to practice.
At some point, before we leave, we need to touch on Kendrick Nunn because now Twitter is going crazy.
What happened with Kendrick?
He's not the defensive stopper
because they're watching him play.
The Lakers fans are saying, "Hey, he's not Alex Caruso. He can't keep anybody in front of him." It's great. I love this. I love Lakers fans getting humbled. They deserve it every year.
So what did they expect?
They thought he was going to be a good point of attack defender.
Yeah.
I don't know why on earth you would ever think that.
Because they didn't watch him. They thought they saw him scoring. They saw he can dunk, and they were like, "Oh, he's athletic. He can probably play defense." No, he can't.
Well, they also saw him share the court with two of the best defenders in the game.
Yeah.
So Jimmy and Bam made him look really good at times.
I mean, Lakers fans are annoying. They're ridiculous. I don't even know. I don't even get it. I did see Alf tweet making fun of some Laker fans because now they're already complaining. So
Alf's been fighting them since Nunn signed with the Lakers. It's been great.
I had to stay down Rocky after my last interaction with Laker fans. I got in trouble.
Brought the rating of the whole podcast down. After that.
No. Well, we had Twitch glitched a little bit, so chat has to refresh. So if you're in chat, let people know that you got to refresh. But we've been going. Somebody said we wanted to make sure we didn't have a Facebook situation.
No, but to finish on Markieff, like he's gonna have games. I like the defensive activity he brought. He looked better, a lot better defensively than I thought. Like Tiff said, his shot selection is porous, but that's why he's a minimum guy. Like if his shot selection was good, he would have gotten a contract somewhere. He's got some skills. He can post up smaller guys. He can shoot a little bit, especially considering he's a big. Like he has some skills. There's going to be a game sometime this year where he's going to score 20 points off the bench. And you're like, that was a big performance. Like that's not going to surprise you. But like this is more often than not what's going to happen. He's going to have 5 points, a couple blocks, a lot of dumb fucking plays. But that's what you get from a minimum guy. Like you're not going to get Shane Battier off a minimum every time.
Right.
The Lakers were better with him off the floor. That's not surprising, but they were still plus with him on the floor. So, I mean, if that's any indication of anything.
But who was he subbing? Anthony Davis. Like,
they play together a lot, I imagine, too. So, I mean, he did play four for them. I mean, the Lakers did like to play big. Morris and Davis together. Oh, man, that was bad. They were -9. Yeah, the Lakers were successful when Morris was without AD and when AD was without Morris. So, the two big lineups. Yeah, okay, just say it. My camera went out. Okay, we can all laugh. Brass it out. I'm trying, man. I fixed a USB. There's some sort of power capacitor thing. So the interesting thing with Morris is that all the two big lineups with the Lakers just did not look good, especially like the Morris AD stuff. Horrible, and mainly they worked apart. So that's going to be something to monitor all season, how the two big lineups work with Morris and Dedmond or Morris and Yurt. I don't know how much Yurt's going to play.
None.
We're all like, Chris, how'd you feel about Yurt 7? You were there. He looked big.
Oh, I didn't watch his minutes. I didn't see the second half.
You let what did you do? What
I didn't
happened?
leave. I was just wandering around the arena. Like I was going to I actually went to all the different shops that they have in the arena to see if they had like different things. I think they're still holding back the main shit until the regular season. So
what do you mean, like the merch, like the jersey?
Yeah, the merch is kind of lacking, but I'm sure it's because they've just giving people a taste. Because everybody's so ravenous for shit. Everybody's got all that just cash, just like sitting around. What do I spend it on? Jerseys.
What's up with your camera right now? It's like zooming in and out.
Some moving too much, just know what to do.
By the way, if you are Miami Heat fans, if you want some stuff, some merch, man, we have some really cool stuff coming on the way. So you might want to hold off on buying a Heat jersey because we might have some stuff that might interest you guys. So save that cash. We got some cool stuff. We have some cool stuff on the way.
Unless you want to subscribe, you can always subscribe and
always subscribe. Throw us a pity sub. Listen, we didn't make the top 100 Twitch, thing. Throw us a pity sub. Get us to the top 100. Okay, yeah. You see all these people. These streamers hoard that money for themselves. We're dividing it between 11 people, 12 people. We have a lot of people here. We have a lot
Gianni said he's not paying us until we're top 100.
I'm not paying these motherfuckers to the top 100. You better start donating so I can give these people money. I'm withholding pay. That's it.
Hashtag free the Heat beaters.
Right?
That's
gonna be on Twitter tomorrow. Y'all know G don't pay anybody.
That's what it's gonna be. Moose is gonna start a union. Gonna be outside my apartment.
Digital sweatshop.
Running a stream sweatshop here. Get to work.
That's how Stream Beat really is.
Yeah, I mean that's really the Deuce's business model. If you're really being honest.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
I kind of want to touch on that the defensive effort as a unit. Like realistically,
with the bench.
just the entire team, like realistically, do you think they can keep that up?
They're going to be I think they're going to be a top 5 defense at worst. I mean, I don't think they need to keep that energy up, but just they have so many built-in advantages because they can play a drop now, which is just so much more conserving on energy. And SPO teams just generally fly around a lot. That's just kind of how they play. Like, so I've seen this before, right? When they play like a real drop and they're not over switching, and guys are able to move and fly in and out of the passing lanes, and it's going to be tiring because I think this is the most motion a SPO offense has had with the defense like this. So I think what's going to be interesting to see is how that plays out. Although there's going to be a heavier ISO team, I think with Kyle, they'll be able to kind of flow into some of those things and catch some breathers. So they are picking up the pace too. So I don't know if Franky or Chris, you have anything, but
you think top 5? Like that's what
I think that's their floor on defense. I think top 5 was their floor.
Their floor. Wow.
Assuming they stay healthy, I think that's a pretty safe assumption to make. That starting 5 that's going to get the majority of the minutes is going to be an absolute terror. Like you got 4 guys you don't want to deal with, and then you have Duncan Robinson, who very quietly has turned himself into a pretty solid defender. I was watching him in the first preseason game fly around defensively. He had I see here he had a steal and a block, but he also had a couple of incredible closeouts, like especially from a decent distance. Like he's clearly putting a lot of effort and attention into that side of the ball, which obviously, considering he's one of the most elite snipers in the league, is good to see. But I think it shouldn't be slept on. As long as he really doesn't get abused, that lineup is going to be awful to deal with. They can still hide him,
and they have they have so many ways to problem solve, Tiff. Like, so if you're there, I think it's to be seen if their base is going to be a drop, which is going to be what I'm going to really look at next couple preseason games when the starters are in. But you have the drop now. You can switch if push comes to shove. They'll be able to trap more as well. They have a lot of solutions for things, right? And they have a lot of guys who've played in a lot of different systems, like defensively. So, and as we said, the defense on the bench isn't the issue, right? Because Markieff and Dedmond compete on that end. Gabe, that's never a question with Gabe. His defense has not been what we've asked about. So I think that's their floor. They have Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, who are two legitimate MVP defensive player of the year candidates. Chat says show us a cat. Crab photographer says show us a kitten. The people want to know. Come here. This is riveting for the pod audience. The pod audience is
she
loving
said no, but she loves this shit.
What an adorable
baby. Oh yeah, say hi.
Your camera's doing it again.
Yo, your focus breathing is like crazy.
It's insane. For me, if Oladipo plays 40 games, I can see them being top 5. I don't see him being top 5 simply because I am counting on Jimmy to play 60 to 65 games because that's who he's been his whole career. I'm counting on Kyle at age 35 to play less than 75 games. And even though he's been very reliable health-wise, he's just at that point of his career where players start breaking down a little bit more, unfortunately. And so I'm not relying on him to play 75 games, and especially at 35-minute workload, which we might need him. So if Oladipo can come in and sub those games that one of the nights one of those guys is out, I can see it being top 5. Otherwise, I think the wing depth is too weak. Because after it's Jimmy Duncan, and then it's Tyler off the bench, and then you're starting to look at Caleb Martin, and you're like, okay, that's my backup 3 right now.
They have the Garrett kid, but I don't know if he'll be able to win minutes over Caleb. We know how Spo is.
Yeah, no, and Caleb's actually played in the NBA already before, so he has that right.
Adam Zaman says, John,
absolutely
we want Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, Christian, we have Cat in home.
Yeah, we got enough Cat.
Never know.
So I don't know, Franky. I think that's fair. And I've said this before. Like, I don't think Miami's going to be like this dominant regular season team. For what you said, I think the injuries and their age and stuff like that's going to show. But I think in terms of like championship equity, like what they can do in the playoffs, I do think that will be like a defense no one wants to deal with.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely agree with you there. Like the potential for a top 5 defense is absolutely there, especially
totally
when
fair.
healthy. But my thing is, like over the course of the season, I don't see them staying healthy enough or the depth being strong enough to maintain a top 5 level defense.
Yes, I did. I did forget.
Oh, we
Max
did forget.
Strus
I did
existed.
forget.
I
Max
totally
Strus.
forgot. Yeah, Chad is asking if we forgot that Max Strus existed, and as a matter of fact, I sure
literally
did.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, you guys are obviously like very worried about if guys go down, and I feel like it's it's probably bound to happen in one way or another. But I'm actually really intrigued by some of the depth on this team. I think there's guys that are like 13th, 14th man right now, especially once Victor comes back, like that are guys that definitely deserve minutes and a good look. So it's like I'm definitely going to be looking forward to when the Heat are having a little bit of injury issues during the regular season, because at least we'll get a chance to see some of these other guys, get some run, like Strus. Like Strus, he's still hitting like 50% of his fucking 3-pointers. Like, how are you not intrigued by that? You got Marcus Garrett, who is an absolute nightmare.
Strus is playing this year.
Yeah, you're
Like,
right. No, I
Strus
literally
is
just
in the
forgot about Strus.
I totally
Strus is in the rotation. He's not looking for minutes.
Right.
He's getting minutes. He's in the
I was
rotation.
gonna say, like, and even Gabe Vincent's looked better.
Oh,
Like
Gabe's
between
in the
international
rotation. Gabe's in
play,
the
he had
rotation.
They don't have a
another
choice with
solid
Gabe,
game. Like,
No,
Gabe
Strus is going to be
in it.
good.
I honestly, like, I have no worries when it comes to Strus. I think everything that Gabe has done these last like couple of months, he looked better. Monday, he was more decisive. He took the open shots, and his defense is always there. That's never the issue. I have no concerns about those guys.
And he
I'm
plays a position where his size doesn't hurt him. 'Cause
Right.
He's small, but
Right.
that's fine.
He's tough, though.
Yeah.
He's not gonna have to deal with bigger point guards too often.
Yeah, but he also doesn't play small either. Like he plays his size. Like he doesn't play like a 5'11 guard, 5'10 guard where he can get hunted and stuff. He's tough. He gets under you and he fights through. He tries. And like Tiff was saying, he's being more decisive offensively, taking those shots. A lot of times he would have hesitated last year, and that's why he couldn't get the rhythm. My only concern with him was running the offense. He wasn't really making good reads. He was trying to kick the cross court passes and the skip passes, and was getting picked off really easily. Wasn't reading the help very well. But that comes with time. That comes with development. So I'm hoping he can be better there. But and I honestly, I'm in regular season time, like Jimmy's going to get the backup point guard minutes and Tyler's going to run the minutes and Bam's going to get touches too. Like he's not going to be handling the ball, making as many plays as he had to.
It's going to be a committee.
Yeah.
They're going to run that by committee.
And
Is
Depot,
Jimmy
that's
gonna
not
play
the issue.
tomorrow? I haven't seen any news on
no,
that.
rest him forever.
I wouldn't play him.
The
Rest
I
him
wouldn't
the
play
regular
him at
season.
all. Yeah.
Rest him till the regular season.
just a little bit. Just
Nah.
not even a little bit.
What does he
No.
need rhythm? He doesn't hit. He's not a shooter.
That's
Right.
He doesn't need rhythm.
That's true. Their openers against Milwaukee, right?
I have no idea. It's not. It's got to be Orlando.
No, it's not. It's not Orlando. That's why it's of note. I
think it's Milwaukee.
I think it's
Is it?
Milwaukee. Yeah. So they play. Okay. So their next preseason games are the Rockets, 10 p.m. tomorrow. Then the Spurs, 8:30 on Friday. Then the Hornets, October 11th, 7:30. Then the Hawks. That's been a lot of fucking preseason games. Why are they playing a back-to-back in the preseason? Again, Adam Silver's never seeing heaven. I don't understand the point of a back-to-back preseason road trip. I can't. Can anybody explain this to me?
No.
What is there a point to back-to-back preseason road trip games?
Literally none.
And that's the reason why you're not going to see Jimmy.
Christian, you're muted, bro.
Christian's been muted, and Christian looked like.
oh, sorry. It's just I know my typing's very loud, so I mute myself sometimes when I know I want to type something.
You made a great point. I'm sure. What were you saying? You look very into it.
What was it about?
Back-to-back preseason games?
Adam Silver.
Oh, that they were just. Oh, that's right. You didn't hear any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were just practicing. It's good practice for. I mean, they're still doing back-to-backs during the regular season, right?
Yeah.
They're
2,
ready to
4,
screw us.
6. There's 6 preseason games ending with
Practice.
the Celtics.
That's it. That's all it is.
Bucks, October 21st, 8 p.m. I believe that's that's at home. So they open at home against the Bucks. So that's a fun fucking game to open with. I'm so fucking excited for that.
Are they at home?
The Miami Heat are at home, yeah.
Oh.
It's in
I
Miami.
hope that first game is gonna tell me all I need to know about this team.
Oh, of course.
If they're healthy, if all their guys are playing, that game is going to tell me all I need to know.
I mean, I don't know, because you got to be careful. They just got swept by the Bucks.
Exactly.
It could very much be like, remember the first game we faced the Bucks this season when the Bucks won by like 47 points and they
but we came back and we won.
Like, we could easily go show up in there just like pissed off, everyone ready to go, like win by 20 points, and that won't necessarily dictate how the whole season's going to go.
Christian, how did the season end?
Well, I guess the Bucks won a championship. Hey, you're right, Franky, let's go!
The first round of series against the Bucks was 40 point blowouts, pretty much.
I guess shit. Then that's how you know, right? So
I'm gonna
win by 40 championship.
Absolutely. No, I just want to see how the intensity comes, how the team meshes. I liked a lot of what I saw Game 1, but I want to see it with Jimmy. I want to see how the whole team plays together. I loved what I saw from Kyle. Loved how he made Bam look. I loved what I saw from Tyler. But I want to see Jimmy added to the equation and see how the rest look.
I agree. I kind of want to see Jimmy in preseason. I think it's good to get, even if it's a light workout. I kind of want to see a little bit just so that he can get, so he's old. You gotta grease the wheels.
No. It's like Tiff says, like put him in a bubble wrap. Bubble Jimmy's gonna have a new meaning.
Yeah. We don't need him yet. We don't need him yet.
Let's close out the show a little bit talking about Kyle, because we've talked a lot about Kyle and Bam. We talked about a lot of other things, and we did this on Hangover Time, so I didn't feel like this was as pressing. But I think, guys, and we can go around the room here, starting with me, Tiff, Christian, and then Franky. I think the most interesting thing about the Kyle minutes was that he competed at the point of attack. Obviously, we know that he can, and then let Bam play a drop. And I did mention this on Hangover Time, but I can't stress how important that is to them, because they just haven't had that since Winslow, and even before Winslow, it had been a minute. So the fact that they have a guy, the thing that they've been missing, I mean, we've been talking about point of attack defense for years on here, that this is what they're missing, this is the ingredient, and we've seen all the ways that they tried to hide that, whether it be hedge and recover, whether it be over switching, whether it be what they started doing last season, which was trapping with their big and their smaller guard, and they would do all these things that eventually compromise your back end on your defense, because if you trap, you're one swing away from your defense in total scramble. As we've seen with the switching, you do get a depoy on a smaller guy, but you compromise your rebounding on the back end, and we've seen how that kind of totally just fucks them up. So, every solution that they've had, and the heads and recover, if you just trigger quickly and whatever, I mean, you just get past these dudes or bully them or post them up or force switches, right? So all these different solutions that they've had, there's a counter to them, right? And once teams are able to really figure that out and exploit that, it really was never anything that Miami could do to fix it. And we've seen how Spoelstra, I just said, through the kitchen sink trying to solve this, but you need players to do these things. And Kyle just does a natural thing in basketball, which is to bend the fucking guy in front of him and let you play a more conservative defense. So for me, that's the number one thing that I see that I'm like, okay, this is the biggest difference that he makes. What would you say?
Yeah, I agree with that. Just piggybacking off that for a second. He keeps them from having to have gimmicks.
Yes.
It's ridiculous when you have to go to the bottom of the playbook to look for something and you don't have the personnel. So you are putting a Band-Aid on everything. He literally keeps them from having to put a Band-Aid on this gaping hole where water's spouting out. Like every little thing. It's so crazy how one person literally made a team look entirely different. He literally made every player that was on the court with him look different. I just like the potential of that 1-2 punch with him and Bam. It takes so much pressure off of Bam having to hold the ball and run this play and do those things, where Bam can use 100% of his athleticism playing with a point guard now, because we need Bam in the open court. To me, that is his best skill, because no one can stop him in the open court, whether he's handling the ball, looking for the pass, going for the dunk, the layup, even if he pulled up for the 15-foot jump shot. But no one can stop Bam. at all. So he literally put Bam in every position to succeed in that first half. I mean, had him in the post, had him running the break, set him up for the lob, set him up for the 15-footer. I mean, it was every skill that Bam had, and he used it. There was no hesitancy. Bam wasn't pump faking. He was getting the ball and he was going. And I love the fact that Kyle gets the ball and he looks up court. The first thing he does is look. He looks to the other end, and if he takes off dribbling, what is he doing? His head is up, and he is surveying the court, and that is beautiful to see. So, regardless of what happens this year, he has the tools. Like if we didn't know he had the tools, even though he's a champion and he's done all these things, he was the right player. He was the right move. Age be damned.
Shut up, G.
G was
he's
right.
one of us now. We can't do that anymore.
G was right.
It's a culture.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because I actually told Siobhan, I said, is it weird that one player literally just came in and everything looks different? Everything looks fresh. It looks like it was the right pace. No one looked like they were running too fast. No one looked like they were stuck in mud.
She's ready to become another meme.
No, I'm literally memeing him as we speak. I'm about to tweet it.
But you know what I'm saying, Franky, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did it look to you? Like, what did you see?
No, I loved what you said. Everything you said, Tiff. It was perfect. The hit ahead thing was like one of the biggest difference makers. Our transition offense was so buns last season. We only had one guy that really ran hard with DJJ and
right.
Jake. And Jay, to his credit, ran a little hard too. But DJ was the athletic guy, and everybody could find him because he was the fastest one down the court.
Right.
But now we have a guy who just looks up, hits ahead. That the play that sticks out to me is the one where Bam ran ahead, got somebody small on him. I think it was one of the guards, and then Kyle hit him for the hit ahead. He had the post up, and I think he got fouled to the line. Those kind of plays are going to do so much for Bam, so much for his confidence. He can just outrun the guy. He doesn't have to get the rebound. He gets switched on a guard, and we get the rebound. Kyle's get the ball to Kyle. Kyle's going to find Bam in an isolation for a mismatch for a and one or free throws, whatever. And if you do that to a team like Atlanta, you're getting Trey in foul trouble, picking up easy, stupid fouls. And that's advantageous for us. Kyle just simplified the offense, made everything easy. It was like what you said, like going to the bottom of the thing. We're running damn trick plays on defense to make our defense look sustainable. And that's why a lot of us were like, this isn't really a top 10 defense, because once you face the good teams that can face that shit, that know how to handle that shit, have the personnel, and the coaching is decent enough, which Budenholzer was in that series, that they could face that easy. But now we can run that trick shit, but we can run the simple shit. We can run the HB dive. We don't have to run a flea flicker to make shit work for us. But what I love most about him is the pick and roll, the pacing, the control of the offense. When shit's dying down, he can get the ball, run the offense. He runs the offense early. We're not running shit, starting our sets at 15 seconds. Like G tweeted that out the other day. We're not starting our stuff at 15 seconds. If something, we're running our stuff early and early enough that if we're not getting a good look, we can still swing the ball around, go to something else, try to get another look. And that's just the little things that Kyle adds to the team offensively. And now defensively, we know what he does. He brings point of attack. He brings help with picking up a lot of charges. He's going to lead the team in charges, no doubt about that. Now that Kelly's gone, there's nobody going to compete with him taking charges. He's going to be tough. He's going to be smart. He's going to get the guys in right position. You have a three-headed monster of Jimmy, Bam, and Kyle as your best three players who are all plus defenders. And not only that, that's not even talking about PJ Tucker, who brings another level to that defensively. Toughness and IQ and communication. So defensively, they have a high ceiling. My only concern is the health. And then when Depot gets in there, it's scary hours. But Kyle's just the perfect fit. It's like you said, like the one piece that changes everything for them. It's similar to me, like how Jimmy changed the team. You went from like you had a bunch of like journeymen and whatever, but Jimmy literally starting with 2 undrafted guys and took that team to the finals. Like that's the magic of one player can make a difference for that team. Now we added Kyle to that team, and I'm thinking we're if we round out the roster well and we stay healthy, this team could be really, really good.
Franky, to your point, what you said about the transition stuff earlier, the Heat barely were getting out and running. They were in the bottom half of the league in transition opportunities. They were like 18th or 19th. But they were efficient when they were doing it. They were 5th in points per possession off transition opportunities. But like, really bunched up. They're like 0.1 ahead of like 15th place, right? So I think they have a legitimate chance to be like a legit dangerous transition team with the athletes. I mean, not that they have athletes, but with the athlete that they have and the point guard. Christian, is there anything that Kyle did that really stood out to you, or all kind of soliloquying about, what the biggest takeaways from his minutes?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that he's going to add to this team that they've definitely been lacking recently is someone who actually is seeking to make dynamic cross-court passes, because that's really important, and really good offenses usually take advantage of it, because the second that you make, especially, and Kyle, he throws them with some serious zip too. So you're saving time on the pass, and that gives the defense less time to react. They're inherently already in scramble mode before the person who's catching Kyle's pass has ever even caught it. And if it's somebody like Duncan, he's open. And if it's somebody like Jimmy, you're totally exposed to a cut. And if somebody like Tyler, he's got that floater working. He's going to have a wide open floater if he wants it, or he can go to the rim, or he can settle for an open jumper. It's going to open up so many things for this offense. And since he's always going to be having the ball at the beginning of the possessions, you would think, like, that's going to be huge for this team. Not having the ball in Jimmy and Bam's hands so that they can be on the receiving end of a dynamic play by, somebody like Kyle. It's going to take this offense, and I think the entire team, to another level, because the better they are on offense, the more they're going to be back in half-court situations on defense, and that's a nightmare for other opposing teams.
Offense kind of wins championships now, which is really funny. I started laughing on stream because our friend of the show, Justin Rowan, tweeted out, "Still getting used to familiar faces with new teams, but no change is more striking than G Navas 103 becoming a Heat fan."
Oh, he got you.
He got me.
Damn.
Justin, how are you?